Welcome back to another State of the Market. I'm Scott Zaino from Scott Zaino Realty Group and Keller Williams Luxury Real Estate, coming back at you one more time. So, new year, new plan, new information. Let's get started, dive right into it. We got some good stuff for you today. We've got the 6 sectors that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to sum it up with some interest rates on where they're heading, because everyone's talking about that. So hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. Let's jump right into it, and let's get my screen shared here real quick, and get you guys over here. So let's start right into it with the median sales price. So the median sales price is that's for right here, sales price. All right, median sales price is $615,000. Okay. In December, it was 6.25, so it dropped $10,000. So that's telling us the prices are starting to ease a little bit. So for all you buyers out there, that is a good note to take, where prices are starting to come down. We like to say that they're stabilizing, right? We're not in any type of crash or recession or anything like that. It's just the prices are just not going up as high as they have been over the last couple of years. So today we're sitting at 615. We like to go a couple months back just to give us a little tracking, a little history, right? December was 6.25, and then in November it was 650. So last couple of months it's dropped about 35,000. All right. Let's talk about homes for sale. So this tells us how many active listings are available to buy, right? So 425, when I saw that today, I was very surprised. It just keeps dropping. So here's what I've got to say. If you're a seller and you're looking at this video and you're thinking about selling, list your house for sale. Okay. 425 houses or pieces of property available to sell from Plymouth to Provincetown is not a lot of property. Okay. It's, in my opinion, it's skull and bones. It really is. If you ever see a fish on the side of the beach and you see that it's missing all of its meat because the seagulls came and kind of pecked it all away, and all that's left is maybe the eyeballs, the tail, and the skull and the bones, that's kind of what our inventory looks like right now. So 425 units is where we're standing. That includes land, homes, residential homes, and condominiums. Okay. 531 in December. So we dropped 106 units between December and January. And then in November, we were at 679. Okay. Pre-pandemic, just to give you an idea, guys, we've gone through this before, pre-pandemic of March of 2020, we're sitting right here at 1,986 units. And ever since then, it's just completely plummeted to the point where the lowest of lowest inventory was in February of 2022 at 360 units. And today we're sitting at 4.25. So from the very lowest point at 360, we're just kind of a bump up from that at 4.25. All right. Let's talk about days on market. So your days on market right now are at 26. So that tells us as real estate agents how long it takes for a property to go under contract, right? So 26 days in January, it was 21 days in December, and 12 days in November, which is right here, right there, 12. So it's gone up from 12 to 21 to 26. So what that's saying is the offers are taking a little bit longer. It's taking a little bit longer for your property to go under contract. Now, 26 days is not a long time to begin with. That's a little over 3 weeks, right? Pre-pandemic, because I always like to go back before pandemic because the last 2 years have been so crazy. So pre-pandemic, the numbers were more normal and they were more in line with what we're used to seeing as sellers and buyers in the public. So pre-pandemic of 2020 in March was 68 days. Okay. So if you had your house on the market back in March 2020, it would take almost 70 days. Today, it's only 25. So it's still more than half. Um, the lowest of lowest days on market was probably right here in April of 22, 6 days on market. So they were literally going under contract the same day they were going on the market. Today, it's taken 26 days. All right. Let's talk about months of supply. So months of supply tells us how much inventory that we have in stock, like think of it as a shelf, and then how long would it take for us to run out of inventory, assuming we never put another uh, can of beans on the shelf, so to speak, or another house came on the market. So 1.3 months of inventory. So we've talked about this before, right? So anything less than 4 months of inventory, we're in a what they call a seller's market, right? And then between like 5 and 6 months is a neutral market. And then anything over 6 months would be a buyer's market. So we're sitting at 1.3 months of inventory. So not a lot of inventory out there, as we just mentioned. So the last time, so let's see, December, it was 2 months of inventory. November, it was 1.6 in December, and we dropped down to 1.3. And then in November, it was 2 months of inventory. So the last time it was, let's look at March of 2020, because we've been going back there a lot. March of 2020, 4.6 months of inventory. So that was more of a neutral market. So it wasn't a seller's market, wasn't a buyer's market. It was kind of a neutral market. For the last 2 years, anything that's under 4 months of inventory, which this whole green line is, you can see that it's 1.7, 1.1, 1.2, 1.4, 2.0. And today we're sitting at 1.3 months of inventory. All right. Let's talk about list to sales price ratio, because that's important. This tells us when sellers put their homes on the market, what are they going to expect to get for an offer? Now, in the past, we've been 101, 102, 103%. Back, just a year ago, a year and a half ago, when the market was absolutely crazy. You guys remember it, right? And then just recently, it started to kind of drop off a little bit. So in August of 22, it was 100%. So if you put your house on the market for $1 million, you'd get $1 million. And then in September and October, it was about the same. Then it stayed the same for November. But look what happened in December. It dropped to 98.3. So if you put your house on the market for $1 million, it's saying that you would get about 980,000 for it. Today, in January, it's actually taken a little bit of it actually dropped down a little bit more, about another point. So again, put your house on the market for $1 million, you're going to expect to get 970,000. You could get over, you could get 100, but the average is coming out to about 97.5%. So that's telling us that the offers probably aren't coming in quite as strong as they were back in November, September, and October, right here in this 100% range. But I have a funny feeling that this 97.5 is going to shoot right back up to the 100, 101 range very shortly, within the next couple of months, because now we're really getting deep into the spring market, where everybody wants to come buy a house in February and March, pull the trigger, close in April, May, and then have the house ready for June and July for parties and friends and things like that. So this number has actually dropped a little bit over the last couple of months. And I just think it's just because of the winter. And we're low on inventory. So, but I do predict that that's going to go back up. But we'll be curious to see what happens in February. All right. So we want to talk about the 3 Ps again, because that's so important. So if you do decide to list your house for sale, it's very important that we talk about the price. Getting the price right and getting it correctly is so important today. There's so much information out there to help get your house sold. And so if it's priced right, it'll just enhance that. So getting it priced right, getting it presented properly, meaning getting it and it's looking at its best light, right? Like putting that tuxedo on for that wedding that you're going to, or prom, right? You want to look your best. Same thing with your house. Get your presentation looking good. And then, of course, you want your promotion, which is mostly on the end of the real estate agent and the person that you hired to present your property to the world and how they do that. And then, of course, you want to add a little patience in there too, okay? So houses aren't flying off the shelf like they were a few, 4, 5, 6 months ago. It's taken about 20, what did we say? 26 days on the market. So, after a week, if your house doesn't sell, it has nothing to do with you. It's just the market. So it was 26 days on market was the average to get your house sold. So price, presentation, promotion, and please be a little patient. I've seen houses go into contract within a couple of days or a week, and I've seen some that, take 100, 150 days. So I'm going to start something new starting today. Is I decided that I was going to give the real estate business and the real estate world and everything that has to do with real estate and the buying and selling real estate. I think it's a good idea that we give it a health score, just like you go for your annual checkup and they check your weight, your height, the blood pressure and all that. And you compare those numbers, right? Every time you go, you're like, hey, how much did I weigh last time? Did I gain weight or did I go down? What was my blood pressure last time? How am I doing? And so I think a health score is important. So I've been thinking about that. And so I'm going to give my personal own health score. This has nothing to do with anybody else. This is just my opinion. And I'm going to go with a health score today of 8.5. All right, 8.5. So the next thing I want to do is I want to just get into a couple of slides here real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So let's see here. Let's see here. Let me get out of this right here. Okay. So we want to talk about the interest rates. Interest rates are a big, big topic. We're talking to folks and buyers and sellers and sitting at the round table or just chatting real estate. So 30-year fixed rate right now is 6.42. Now we've seen them as high as 7.5, and then they've kind of creeped down. Look at over here was, probably in the mid sevens right here back in October, November. But a year ago, if you look over here on the next orange strip, it was 3.22. So in 1 year, the rates have basically doubled. So I do predict that the rates will come down. And that's just my own prediction. And the reason I say that is because, the government plays with the interest rate, right? Depending on if the economy is going too fast, then they raise the rate to slower. If it's going too slow, then they drop the rate to increase. And so right now they're trying to find their footing, is in my opinion. So they went high, it didn't work, and now they're dropping them down to where it makes more sense. But I think you're going to see these rates come down even less. And I want to share a screen with you, number 26. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oops. And the reason I want to show you this screen is we're calling it the turn, right? And the turn is what's going to happen here for the next turn. What's going to happen here with the interest rates as we come around the bend of the first quarter, right? And then I want to show you number 68 real quick. Hope everybody's staying warm. I know it's chilly out there today. One of the coldest days of the year so far, and you can definitely feel it when it gets down to the 20s. So let's take a look at the rates, okay? This is what we call the turn. So we're up here at 6.4 today, and we're coming around that second or third turn here. And so what we're predicting is first quarter is 6.6, 6.5, 6.4, and then I think you'll find at the end of the year, the last quarter in September, interest rates being around maybe under 6% or around 6.2. The other thing is I want to go over with you real quick is a few slides up here. And let's see here. So we want to just do these videos to help keep everybody educated and informed of what's going on with the real estate market, right? Because knowledge is power. So we've got these two sides of the fence. We've got the confident, and then we've got the ones that are confused or not sure what's going on with the market, who to believe, right? because there's a lot of headlines out there that could lead otherwise. So uh, we want to make sure that all of our sellers and all of our buyers are the smartest people at the closing table. And the reason we feel that way is because they are up to snuff with the business. They know exactly what's going on, what to expect, and make it through that transaction, knowing that they've made the smartest decision for them and their family in the future of that property. Okay. You always have to look at down the road, when you go to sell it. So the upcoming months should see a return of buyers as mortgage rates appear to have already peaked and have been coming down since mid-November. So that was kind of what we were talking about earlier. That's from Lawrence Yun. He's the chief economist with the National Association of Realtors. And then we want to get into number 14 here. So home appreciation pre and post pandemic. So the numbers really aren't in for 2022, but if you look at pre-pandemic from September of 2017 to 2020, March of 2020, which is right around when the pandemic started. And I know that very clear about that because I was right around my birthday, right? So my birthday's March 18th, and the pandemic, I think everything shut down, I think March 20th. So it's very clear, and I remember it very well, like a lot of guys. So home appreciation in those 3 years was 12%. And that's a fairly normal market. So 4% each year, 4% one year, 4% the next, and 4% the third year. So, so what happened in 2020 and 2022? Well, we've seen the houses go and grow in equity, and 10, 15, 18, some places like Florida, maybe some parts of Carolina, not Carolina, California, and Arizona, and Texas. Maybe those properties are up as much as 20%. So the average of the next 3 years, maybe we'll get these stats here next month, but I'm going to say that the average was probably around 15%, maybe 16 or 17%, which would be more like a 5 or 6% equity gains versus, say, the last 3 years of 17 through 20, which had about 3 or 4% gains. So anytime that you're past 3 or 4% gains, you're doing well. And in the last 3 years, a lot of people have made a lot of money with real estate, buying it and selling it. And the ones that were able to buy it and get those gains that bought pre-pandemic, right? It's all about when to buy and when to sell, right? So let's talk about number 18, and then we'll get this wrapped up here pretty soon. Let's see. So I thought I'd put this slide in because I thought it was kind of important. So over 11,000 homes sell every day. So good times or bad, a minimum of 11,000 homes sell today. Now, this is only based on 4 million homes divided by 365 days a year, which is 11,000. Now, the last few years, we haven't been selling 4 million homes. We've been selling 5 million, 5.3, 5.5, 5.8. So this 11,000 is really on the low side. But even if the whole entire real estate agent, if everything with the real estate in the bottom floor fell out, you're still going to sell 4 million homes per year, which averages 11,000 per year. So we're well past that because we're well into the fives, 5.2, 5.4, 5.6, something like that over the last few years. So I thought that was a nice slide to show you that business does happen every day. In good times or bad, there's always people trading. There's always people moving. There's always people going from one location to another, relocation jobs, bigger house, smaller house. There's always something happening with real estate business. It's just a matter of how much sales go up and then how much they kind of plateau off a little bit. So let's get to number 19. So 8 houses sell every minute. This is the same slide, but they broke it down into minutes. 11,000 properties divided by 24 hours, 467 every hour. So almost 8 minutes every minute, 8 properties sell. So there you have the state of the market for the month of January 2023. We want to thank you all again for tuning in, listening, emails, texts, phone calls, things like that. If you have any questions, Our door is always open. Um, we're here to help you. We're here to be on your team and give you the best information that we can, so that like I said, you make the smart decisions. We want you to make smart decisions too, right? So, on that note, thank you so much. If you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to help them. And my phone number is 508-566-0051. That's my cell. You can call me anytime. If I don't answer, I always call back. All right. And then we got my email. So my email is sjzano@gmail.com. If you want to send us a quick email, you got a question, or if you'd like your house, have us come out, take a look at your house and give you a property analysis on which your home equity position is and what it's worth in today's market. We'd love to help you with that as well. And check us out on ScottZainoGroup.com, our website. We have a phenomenal website that you can go on and check out. There's all kinds of information in there, educational videos. I love to do videos. People like watching our videos, so that's why we continue to do them. So we have information on there about education, information. You can search. You can check out all the different steps on how to sell a house, how to buy a house. So there's all kinds of good stuff in there. And then we're also on YouTube as well. Got a bunch of stuff going on YouTube. So anyway, thank you again. I appreciate all the viewings and all the prompts out there. If you have any questions, give us a buzz. We're here to help. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.